Hi guys, welcome to Flip the Deck Tarot. Today's pick a card reading is going to be for those of you who are in a no contact situation with the person on your mind. So we are going to be finding out how this separation is affecting them. What is changing for them during the time that the two of you are separated? Have they learned anything? Are they having any realizations during this time of no contact? So we have 3 readings to choose from today. For reading number 1, we have this Cobalto Calcite. For reading number 2, we have a blue halite. And for reading number 3, we have this red jasper. All right, take as much time as you need to pick the pile that is calling to you the most. I'm going to drop your timestamps down below in the description box. I'm going to jump in with reading number 1, and I will see you in your reading. Hi, number 1, if you were drawn to the Cobalto Calcite, this is going to be your reading. We're going to find out how the separation between you and your person has been affecting them. How has it maybe changed them? What's been going on in their life during this time of separation. So we're going to take a look at your cards and see what the general energy in this connection is right now. Maybe some general ideas that have changed for this person during this separation. So let's see, how is this separation affecting them? We have card 34, door to personal healing and happiness. Oh, and we have man holding a coin. Okay. Interesting energy right off. Let's flip the rest of your cards over. We also have Spear. This card says heartache over what you no longer have. So that's kind of an indication right there. And you also have card 17, Flirt. Okay, so looking at the general energy of how this separation is affecting this person, I really want to start with the Spear card because it's giving a sense of where this person is at in terms of how they're feeling toward this connection. There's kind of a sense of loss and regret when they think about this relationship. And it's feeling to me like it feels like this separation has caused them to like play the what if game. It's this energy of like, what if it had worked out differently? What if they had spoken up about their true feelings or been more transparent with their emotions? What if they had made a solid offer instead of kind of letting things hang in this place of uncertainty? You know, it's like, what if they had done something that would have prevented this separation? This is a huge way that I feel like they've been affected by this a lot because a lot of their mental space is being taken up by playing this what if game and wondering what will happen, wondering if there was something that could have been done to change this. Yeah. For some of you, there's one particular event or conversation it's coming through as. And it might be a particular issue too. Maybe something that kept coming up in the relationship. But it's like there's one particular issue or event or conversation that comes to mind when this person thinks about this connection. And it's like it's mainly that issue or that event, that thing, whatever that thing is, it's mainly that they're playing the what if game about. So it could be for some of you like one particular conversation where things just kind of fell apart. Maybe the two of you realized you weren't on the same page about something, or maybe a promise had been broken. And it's like they go back to this one event and think, what if I hadn't done that? Or what if I hadn't responded that way? What if it had gone differently? Also, what's coming through is For some of you, this might be a conversation that they didn't have, that they're playing the what if game about, because it's almost like they feel like they had an opportunity to address some issues with you or to express some feelings to you, and they're realizing where they kind of wasted those opportunities, or where they didn't take that opportunity. So it could have been like a phone call. They could have, when they would have had the opportunity to speak up and they just didn't do it, or they saw you and they had the chance to say how they were feeling and they didn't do it. So yeah, for a lot of you, that's what this what if game is about. Yeah. They may have like, this was an argument for some of you because there's harsh words, and I feel like there's some message about they may have spoken harsh words that they didn't really mean, or there might have been a particular disagreement that comes to mind. But yeah, for most of you, I think that general energy is, I'm getting a feeling of regret around not striking while the iron was hot, not solidifying this connection when they had the chance, or not growing or going through the uncomfortable changes that they needed to go through before there ever was a separation. So it's like they think that their growth or their progress was maybe a little too slow, or the progress in this relationship was too slow. It wasn't progressing to the next level the way it should have. And I feel this person placing themselves in the position of blame for some of you about that slow progress. It could even be slowness or hesitancy that was on your part that I'm picking up on. So for some of you, this wasn't your person that was, I want to say, dragging your feet, because I just have this energy of like just being reluctant, wanting to fall in, but just hesitating, pulling back. And that could be coming from their side or yours. But it's like this issue is on their mind, even if they don't feel like they were really the cause of it. That's a big part of this, like wondering if things could have gone differently, wondering if it had been easier to open up, if it had been easier for things to progress, if it had been easier to feel like there was growth happening here, would things have gone differently? It's a lot. That's a lot of what's on their mind. Yeah. It just really feels like some kind of change or evolution wasn't happening. This is either you evolving, your person evolving, or the relationship as a whole. Something wasn't evolving. And there also could be kind of this sense of bad timing or circumstances not lining up, circumstances getting in the way of this. That's playing through their mind a lot. What's interesting about this is the separation is forcing your person to see things differently. It's like it has created the perfect environment for growth or for potential growth. And it's almost forcing them to wake up to some of these things that they had blinders on about before. So it's like the separation's making them realize that in order to find that true happiness in their life, we have this door to personal healing and happiness. In order to find that true happiness, it's like they're going to have to grow and evolve and change in these ways, regardless of whether they have this connection or not. This is where this, I feel like that's where the heartache over what you no longer have, what this spear card says, I feel like that's what they're talking about. It's like, this person's kind of realizing that you can't run from all of your problems and you can't run from the growth, because it's going to kind of track you down, no matter what. So potentially this relationship was a little bit of a mirror for them. I am seeing mirrored energy here. You have card 34 and 43. We'll come back to that, but I feel like potentially this relationship did bring up some kind of issue and some need for growth. And if this person ran, or if you ran, because this could be on either side, it's like someone's waking up to the realization that this growth has to happen anyway. Even though this relationship kind of put it right in their face, they can't run from it forever. So the same issues will continue to arise. And it's like this feeling of, in order to be truly happy, I kind of already had that situation, or I already had the potential for that situation. And I might have walked away from that, or I might have allowed that to slip through my fingers when I had the chance. And it turns out I can't avoid this growth anyway. That's kind of the feeling I'm getting here. Yeah, it's like they can't run from any emotional hangups or from the pain in their life that they really need to heal. Like it's gonna have to be healed one way or another. Even running from circumstances in their life that's draining them or causing heartache. All of this stuff needs to be healed. So they're starting to see what actually needs to be healed, what's going on beneath the surface. What are we not going to be able to escape? What, like, what are we going to have to deal with? And I feel like they've gotten such a, like, this door, if you look at this, it's like, this is paradise out here. This is, like the card says, this is the personal healing and the happiness. This is where they want to get to. And they've known this. They've known they want to get to this place. But it's like they're realizing they might have had a key component to getting to that place, and this door just wasn't open at the time, is how this is coming through. And I also want to point out that this door is really an opportunity. So I think this person's starting to get more clear about what they want and what actually brings them happiness in life, because once the door's open, they can see it. So there was something that wasn't clear before, and it could have been something that wasn't clear in the relationship. It might have even been that, like, the feelings, like, it was never really clear for you or for them how this person was feeling. Maybe you're always guessing or something like that. It's like they're starting to find clarity around this. Yeah. I really do feel mirrored energy here. I think a lot of what you think and feel about this relationship is happening on their end as well. And this can even be that things that you realized before they did, or vice versa, they realized before you did, that this energy is starting to catch up and you're starting to mirror each other even in ways that you don't know. So a lot of their thoughts are similar to your thoughts or your realizations about this connection. It's happening on both sides. I think too, like, if this person had emotional hangups, or if that has been an issue for you in this relationship, this mirrored energy, it was always present. And when you have someone holding a mirror up to you, things can get pretty uncomfortable. So if this person had emotional hangups, it's coming through like this was a big part of why they were feeling scared. Feeling scared of opening up, because this relationship really made them see things differently, made them see themselves more clearly, made them feel vulnerable in a way that they just weren't, they weren't totally ready to feel all of that. So that mirroring has always been happening. And the two of you really do, you see each other for real. And in doing that, you see yourselves. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, so it is interesting. You have 34, 43. Both of these, because it's the same numbers, they both reduce to 7. So that's confirmation there of some sort of, some kind of self exploration or discovery being present here in this time of separation, because 7s are numbers of that exploration and discovery of self, kind of searching. And that kind of shows how impactful this connection is for this person. And probably for you as well, because we are dealing with mirrored energy. But yeah, if it triggers all of this kind of self-exploration and discovery, this is something significant to them. So that's something they've held on to or something they've realized during this separation. And then you also have card 17, flirt. So there's another 7 there. That's a lot of 7s. 777, or some kind of something repetitive. I also just think of lucky number. So this person might be experiencing a period of luck, or they might feel like things are becoming clearer to them, and they're kind of in a state of gratitude for that. It's kind of hard to explain, but like feeling like, okay, I almost like I'm so lucky to be figuring this out, or I'm so lucky to have had this experience that's pushing me a little bit. So I feel a little bit of gratitude toward this growth that they're experiencing. Yeah. I feel like for a lot of you, this is actually really important for you to hear, because depending on the circumstances, you may catch yourself wondering if this person even cares. So for some of you, that's a concern that your guides are bringing to the table right now, that you might have times where you're like, I don't even think this separation is affecting them at all. I don't even think that they care. Like, to be honest with you, they don't even seem to care. That's your guides are kind of bringing that up. So I feel like potentially on the surface, you might feel like they're indifferent, or even like they're doing really well, like they're unbothered and they're having all of this success or something like that. Or you might just not have a lot of information about how they're feeling, about what's going on in their life. So your guides are kind of bringing this up as confirmation that they are realizing that this connection woke them up. And they do feel pain around being in separation right now. I almost feel like for some of you, your person thought that they could avoid leaving a safety. What is this? I'm trying to figure, like a safety zone, a safety net, leaving the safety of what they were more comfortable with in terms of relationships. But through the separation, they're kind of feeling like maybe even more confronted by the reality of their mistakes or by their need to grow. I feel like this is really bringing that to the surface for them, especially if there's something they're feeling guilty about. Yeah, they're seeing it, the ways that they've needed to change, because the loss is evident to them. Like they know that they lost something. It's like sometimes they wish that this growth that's happening in them, this is where that gratitude feeling is coming from. They are grateful for what they are discovering, for what they're figuring out, but at the same time, they're wishing that this growth and these realizations and the desire for them to follow their heart and to really let their heart lead them to this place of true happiness, they wish all of that had kicked in sooner. It's like better late than never, but why couldn't this have happened before is kind of the thought. They kind of wish they could have played the role that you needed them to play in your life at the time, before they lost something that was actually important to them. So huge wake-up call. Yeah. It's like whether they choose to answer that call or not, or how they choose to answer this call is really up to them. But it might be a little bit challenging or something they're feeling conflicted about how to answer this call. It's like they have seen something differently. Now it's like, how do I step through that door? What do I do about it now? For some of you, this flirt energy is really about your person kind of playing with or flirting with the idea of making certain changes in their life. So I feel like in some cases, they want to throw themselves into working on bettering themselves financially. But it's really a question of, are they working really hard in order to distract themselves from something that's really painful, or in order to please somebody else, or are they doing it because that's what truly makes them happy? So they're conflicted about some of these changes, because I do see that for some of you, this person might be really distracting themselves during this time because it is too painful for them. So some of them might be working a little bit more, a lot more. Yeah. Trying to better themselves financially, like as a means to take some sort of control over their lives. I do feel like they might feel a lack of control when they think of this situation. And that can be because they don't know what to do. Yeah. They ask themselves, I think they're asking themselves, what do I really want? What's going to actually make me happy? Which I think is, honestly, it's kind of leading them back to this connection when they have that thought. What makes me really happy? When have I been happy? When was I the happiest? And it leads back to you. Yeah. Yep. I feel like that door has been open, and they've like seen this glimpse of true happiness, and that could be the reason that's coming through like that could be because for some of you, this connection could have been very brief. It could have ended or gone into this period of separation like a lot sooner than you would have thought, and maybe even abruptly. So it's like they've seen this glimpse. They've experienced something that's like, that's what I want, that's what I'm looking for, and then it went away so quick. And for others, I feel like they're viewing it as a glimpse, not because of the length of time, but actually because they weren't ready. Like it's this feeling of, I didn't seize that opportunity. So there might have only been a short amount of time that they realized what they had, or that they realized how important this was to them. And then it's like, they just weren't ready to reach out and take that. Yeah. It's like, what needs to be done to get them to the other side of this threshold is really the question. They miss that spark between the two of you. They miss the flirtatious energy between the two of you. It's coming through as almost an unspoken connection, a pull toward one another, and very flirtatious. It's something that they miss. And it might be like a flirty feeling inside of them that they have when they see you, but it's like you trigger that in them, and they miss that. What's on their mind concerning this connection is being brave enough to let their heart lead, and also kind of coming through with a solid offer. This man holding a coin is like, this could be why this person's throwing themselves into work. It could be that there are some sort of financial issues or something financially that's holding them back. They might need to move, or something that would take a lot of upfront money to accomplish. So that might be why they're throwing themselves into their job, or into building their business, or working extra hours or something like that, because it's almost like they want to make themselves more appealing. They want to make themselves more stable. They want to be able to make the offer that they didn't make before. Yeah. I do think this ties directly to finances for some of you, to a financial constraint that this person feels like has gotten in the way of their happiness. Like not having enough money to make the choice they want to make, or something like that. Or I think for some of you, this is people in their life that depend on them. Yeah, that might be what that message is. They might support a family, or support family members, or something like that. And it's like something's holding them back around this financial tie that they have to a situation in their life. For some of you, that's what's going on. Yeah. There might be a change that they want to make that's making them want to save money or focus on their finances. So let's see. I wanted to use this rainbow Rider-Waite deck. So we are going to look at two areas. We're going to look at what has changed for this person as a result of this separation, and what has stayed the same, what remains the same during this separation. So let's see, for number one, what has changed for their person? There we go. Okay, we have the Empress. I'm going to get another card. That's interesting energy because man holding a coin, very abundant energy. This is very abundant energy or focus on abundance, and the Empress is also a very abundant energy. So, interesting. What is that? Okay, upside down. I could not read this card. This is the Five of Pentacles in reverse. And that card is typically associated with financial loss if we're talking about actual finances here. So it could be that this person has experienced some sort of loss and they are trying to like make up for it. They might be working extra hours because they've had to sink a bunch of money into something, or because they have this extra expense come up or something like that. But it's interesting because we have this very abundant energy here. A lot of this energy is super abundant. It could be that this person's financial situation has changed over the course of this separation. It could be that they didn't have the finances. They didn't have their finances in order to be able to make some sort of solid offer to you, or they were financially tied to a situation that was draining them, and that they're coming out of this. And this is all happening during the time of the separation. It's just interesting because all of these very literal and very financial type issues are coming up. So there must be, for a lot of you, something about this. It could have been a big move or something like that, or a person not wanting to leave their job, not wanting to pick up and leave everything that they've established. But if this was an issue before, it's like they're having realizations or making some sort of progress in this area. And this can also be a distraction. I was talking about that before, but it's kind of now coming through, like they might be really working a lot to distract themselves. It's paying off. Like they are making money. They are stacking cash. They might be like putting a lot in savings. So even if they're doing this as a distraction, it's a little bit motivating as well. I feel like they might not want to stop distracting themselves because it is making them money. It's like they have so much time to work for some of you. Yeah. I do think there is an element of distraction or avoidance here. And it could even be like avoiding certain emotions, avoiding the emotions associated with this breakup or with this separation. Yeah. I feel like outside of a monetary context with this Five of Pentacles, this card really embodies the energy of something being missing, something being lost. When it's reversed, it's like something is missing. So the Five of Pentacles can focus a lot on our inner world as well as our material world. So I feel like this person has gained a new appreciation for the connection that they had with you, or for many of you, this Empress, I feel like, is representing you. So that it's like this person has a much better understanding of what's been lost. There's really a sense of not being fulfilled or not realizing what they had until it was gone. I'm hearing too little, too late. Maybe that may be your attitude toward them. That might be the attitude that you have toward them right now, or that you've had in the past, like you had your chance type of attitude. But it's almost like it's them realizing that the effort wasn't really given when and how it should have been. Yeah, let's look at what has stayed the same during this separation. So what has stayed the same for this person? Queen of Pentacles. Very interesting. Queen of Pentacles and the Empress are very similar energies to me. Very earthy energy, very abundant energy, and nurturing at the same time. So interesting. Wow. Okay. Your card went on the floor. Let's see. We have the Queen of Wands. Whoa. The Empress and 2 queens. Wow. The Empress and 2 queens. That's coming through a bunch of different ways, but the message that I just got is for some of you, this person was caught between two, the way these 2 queens just came through. If this is like a third party situation, if this person was in another relationship or they got into another relationship, it's like they feel caught between 2 people. For some of you, this could be this person's mother and you. And gender doesn't matter here. Like, we have all this feminine energy here, but no, it doesn't matter. This doesn't mean that you have to be a female or that they have to be a female or that anyone has to be a female. This is just that nurturing kind of energy. So they might have felt like they were caught between 2 people, caught between 2 queens. And it's interesting that came out. I'm also getting a message that this person might have two daughters or 2 children. And they might have felt caught between that home situation with their children and this connection with you. That's obviously not going to resonate for everyone, but it was just so crazy how that message came through. I feel like what has really remained the same is their feelings for you, because I feel like for a lot of you, all of this energy is representative of you and how they're viewing this connection. The Empress, the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands. The way that they see you hasn't changed. That has remained the same. And I just feel like that's really crazy. We were talking about the weight of the relationship, like the significance. They're realizing the significance. And this is what this says to me, to say Empress, Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Wands, significant. They see you as someone who's very nurturing, someone who is very supportive, and they value that in you. Someone they see a future with, for sure. Because this is this is wifey material, this is husband material, this is like the type of energy you want to build with. and abundant as well. Very abundant, very very lively, I want to say, and that could be in reference to the connection, but it's just like the spark, the flirting, and the Queen of Wands energy. Yeah, that hasn't changed. Whatever initially drew them to you, it hasn't changed. The feelings are the same. Let's see. I'm just going to leave this part open. We'll just see if any other messages want to come through for you. For number 1, how is the separation with their person affecting? Wow. I'm not going to take all those. That was a bunch of cards. Let's be more specific. How's their person being affected by this separation? How is number 1's person being affected by this situation? We have the 7 of Swords. They're lying to themselves. 4 of Pentacles. That's that distraction energy. They're distracted and they're saving money. I don't know why this energy keeps coming out, but they're saving money. They're trying to get more responsible about something. And the 4 of Pentacles also always speaks to me about wanting to hold on to something. So I think that's that feeling of regret as well, like wanting so badly to cling on to something. And for some of you, it's the distraction. They're trying to cling on to anything that they feel like can keep them sane and can keep their mind off of this. I feel like that's a major part of this. Do you have any other messages for number 1 from this deck? Because we are going to pull more cards. We have the Judgment card, and I just kept calling this a wake up. I kept calling this a wake-up call, and that's exactly what the Judgment card is about. So they really are, they are realizing they're waking up to some things. For some of you, I feel like this person's preparing for, and that's what this Four of Pentacles energy is. It could be preparing for a move. This is way too many cards. I see a lot about communication and wanting to communicate in there. I see a lot of Swords energy there. And as I say that, the Eight of Swords comes out. There's just this feeling of being trapped, of not really knowing how to navigate or how to get out of this situation. They might be trapped in a, this could be about a financial trap. Strength at the bottom of the deck. Yeah. They have had realizations about this, and again, for a lot of you, there's some kind of financial issue or something that they are physically tied to, or they feel physically tied to, and it could be that they are mentally tied to that place or that person or that thing, because they see it as very real and very physical. It's very real to them, but the Eight of Swords talks about like mental blocks and almost being like mentally imprisoned. So this could be that they just are having a hard time seeing their way out of this situation, seeing what to do about it. But it's like they're looking for an answer. Let's get some messages from your person. Yeah. My shuffling causes problems. Let me try not to blow the cards around. Do my best. Let's just see what messages your person has for you. You speak to me through music, so this person might be thinking about you a lot while they're listening to music, or listening to a song that the two of you had a connection over with, maybe had your first dance to, or something like that. They're reminded of you when they listen to music. I left you before you could leave me. Oh, okay. I feel like for a lot of you, that's the regret. And even if it's just that this person pulled away to the point that like you did feel like you were left, you felt like you were abandoned, it's like they're realizing that they did this to try to protect themselves. They either totally walked away from this connection or they pushed you away. That's too many. They could have pushed you away to kind of make you leave, you know, even if they didn't want to make that decision themselves. It's like they know they did with their actions. And that's about protection. I'm feeling the guarded energy off of this Four of Pentacles now, and it's like that guarding could have been about their emotions. They were clinging on to a sense of control. Do you have any other messages for number one? I feel like that might be it. Any messages for number one? Wow. Here we go. Oh, wow. It just says, I love you. Whoa. I don't think that happened by chance. I'm a little bit thrown right now. I don't think that happened by chance, because I kind of just feel this, wow, I just feel this message of like, I don't know what else to say. I love you. Like that's your person's energy. It's like they just don't know what else. They don't know what to say. They don't, in a lot of ways, even know what to do, but it kind of just comes down to this realization that there are strong feelings there. For a lot of you, I mean, very, very strong, the fact that that card came out. For some of you, that might be a little heavy for whatever stage your relationship was in, but it's like, these are very strong feelings, and they are being brought back to the emotions of it. And that might have been just the thing that they couldn't really tap into while the connection was there, but they're just brought back to the emotions of it. I feel like this is like, they're listening to sad songs. They're, I feel like for some of you, like listening to music and crying, that could be your energy. That might be them. I'm not really sure, but it's like they're really in their feelings about this. And they don't really know what else to say besides I love you. So yeah, I do feel like something is changing there. Something's shifting there. Wow. All right. Number one, I'm going to leave it right there. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and letting me read your cards. If you liked this reading, if you resonated with any of these messages, don't forget to like the video, leave me a comment down below, and hit subscribe if you feel like it. And hopefully I will see you again in another reading really soon. Bye. Hi, number two, if you were drawn to this blue howlite, this is going to be your reading. We are going to find out how the separation between you and your person is affecting them. What has been going on for them during the time that the two of you have been in no contact. Yeah, we're just going to dig into all of that and see kind of like how their mind has changed, how their heart may have changed, what may have changed in their life. So let's go ahead and get into your cards and get some general energy out here. Concerning the separation, where they're at in terms of their thoughts and feelings with this separation. So we have Angel of Strength here. This is card 50. And we have Walking Away. Wow. I feel like right off, as soon as I saw this, I just feel like this person's thinking a lot about when they walked away from this connection or when you walked away, because this could be them watching you walk away. They're thinking about that moment when it ended, or the thing that they're kind of holding responsible for the ending of this. Interesting energy. We're going to come back to that. We also have Unicorn. Wow. I feel like for some of you, you left this person. You may have felt like you had to walk away from this connection. They're looking at you like this magical creature walked out of their life. And we have Mystery. This is interesting energy, you guys. Whoa, okay. Let's see. I do feel like in some way, this separation is strengthening your person. And I'm not really getting the feeling that they feel stronger without you, or that they feel stronger outside of this connection. It's actually the contrary. It's like this time apart has caused them to recognize the strength that they actually derived from this connection. In some ways, it's like the strength that they depended on from this connection. And I think they're also kind of in this place where the separation is helping them to solidify just how strongly they felt about you and about this in the first place. I do feel like for a lot of you, this person depends on you, or they did depend on you. And this could be in some cases that they depended on you financially. Maybe the two of you lived together and you were kind of like, you were equal partners in something, like, you split the rent or something like that. Or it could be that you cared for this person a lot. Like you, I mean financially. Like we'll get into the other stuff too, because I think there's an element of both here. But it could be that you literally bought this person things or paid for things, supported them in some way. And so they're realizing like they're seeing that absence. They're seeing how much you were helping them. But this doesn't have to be financial support. This can be emotional support. They're kind of realizing that they would lean on you. That they could call you with a problem or a concern and you always knew the right thing to say. And I feel like for some of you, this might even be, this is odd, but this might be an experience they've never actually had with you. Maybe this relationship It might have been brand new, or there might have been always some kind of distance. So maybe this person never really called you with a concern. But what I feel like is they know you as someone who they would want to call with that concern. That when they have a problem, they want to reach out, and it's like you're not there. So yeah, they're realizing how much this relationship strengthened them, or how much they depended on it. Yeah, you might have really provided some kind of physical, material kind of help, or guidance. And it's like whenever they needed something, you were there, or whenever they need something, they want to reach out to you. I kind of feel like for some of you, the way that they depended on this was they depended on you and your faith in terms of, oh, your guides are correcting me, I'm sorry. It's like they still depend on it. For a lot of you, they still depend on it, but they depend on you and your faith to keep hope alive, to keep this connection alive. So that could be another thing that they're realizing, that they didn't. It's like something that they realize they've done wrong, because when they were in this connection, or when they had a chance to be in this connection, they feel like they put a lot of the responsibility on you to keep it alive, or to keep it going, to keep faith alive. And of course, this energy that I'm picking up on could be reversed too. So this could be that you felt like this person was doing all the work. It could be that. It could be even that they felt like they were. But I'm picking up on, for the majority of you, it's not that. It's really this person's realizing, like, wow, I let number two do all the work. I let them believe in the relationship and try to progress the relationship, and hold on to the idea of this connection. And I didn't really do my part here. So that's becoming clear. Yeah. I feel like at this point, their focus is on tapping into their own inner sense of strength and direction and empowerment, because all of what was there before through this connection isn't available to them now. So the support that was available through the connection, it's not available now. And they're having to find their own strength in this, find their own will to keep this alive, find their own action plan to keep this alive. Because this card, it's like, this is about tapping into an inner strength, but once you got it, it's like, what are you going to do? And yeah, I feel like this person is like looking to step into more of a place of responsibility with this. And this could even be taking responsibility for where they went wrong. Yeah. I really do feel like, going back to this walking away card, I feel like this was a difficult, this relationship was difficult for them to walk away from. Whether they initiated this period of no contact, or whether this was a decision that was more on your part. For some of you, I'm hearing it just happened. As soon as I said that, it's like, no, it just happened. So there might be something else here. It might not be that either one of you chose to end this relationship. It's just like circumstances, like even distance. It might not have been a conscious decision on either part, but just like, it's just hard. It's just impractical. It's just not gonna work. It's like kind of, it's coming to mind as some of the feelings that you may have had, or like wondering if it's going to work. So I feel like this person might have had these feelings, like, is this even, like, how can we make this work? Yeah. I feel like I really do feel like this person has had the thought or the feeling to just like to remain strong about something. They've kind of felt like they have to hold themselves back from reaching out to you. It's such an interesting mix of energy, because on one hand, it's like they see where things went wrong, what role they played in it. They're starting to see that. And on the other hand, it's like so much energy of, I really think that this person could have I think they've lost hope in a way, but they're back and forth about it, because I do feel that there's a part of them that's saying, just walk away from this. It's not going to work. Or yeah, it's like there's a part of them, this, they want to call it a practical side, I feel like, but it's like there's a part of them that's like, it's not going to work, just walk away. Or it's all, too much damage has been done, too much time has passed, you have to just walk away from this. But then there's this other part of them that still is feeling hopeful about this. So they're accepting the role that they played in any of this. They're accepting what part they may have played in ending things, in causing this separation, in not fixing it, not repairing it. I feel like this must be the energy of them not thinking that they still have a chance with you. And that's why it's so conflicted, because I am honestly having trouble sorting out what that is. I think it's so conflicted because they want to fix things. They almost want to go back and have this play out differently. But at the same time, they're like, there's no point in that, because I've already missed my chance. There's no more opportunities. I'll have no choice but to walk away. For some of you, that's what this is about. There's a lot of conflicted energy coming with this walking away card. So I feel like we're going to be back on that in a little while, and it's going to be something else, because there's a lot of conflicted energy. And what that tells me is there's a lot of confusion going on with this person. They're like, should I stay here? Should I go? Should I move on? Should I still be attached? And some of this is not up to them. Some of this is an emotional way that they feel. So they want to consciously say, I need to walk away from this. There's no chance for this. And then at the same time, they're like, no, but I feel like this is what I want. So it's a battle of how do I feel and what do I think is realistic? This is crazy. This is crazy energy, because I don't, it's all over the place. They're all over the place, and yet they're so clear. And I think that's, okay, now I've said it, so I think it's out of here, but that's what it is. They are all over the place with their thoughts. They change their mind all the time. They feel one way and then the other. They want to take one action and then the other. They don't really know what to do. But at the same time, they're gaining so much clarity about this situation, about how important it was to them, about where they went wrong. Yeah. And almost like a planning of how they want to show up going forward, but at the same time, they feel like they need to walk away. It's crazy. Okay. I do feel like for some of you, you ended things with this person, or this person felt rejected by you in some way, because there is this energy of them feeling like they need to gather their strength and just walk away from the situation. Like they have to be strong enough to let this go. But you see how she's looking back? Like, yeah, she's walking away, but she's looking back. Even, yeah. It's like, even though something inside of them, this is either it's something inside of them or something external from them, it's almost pressuring them. That is such weird energy. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. It's this conflicted energy is so telling. And at the same time, it doesn't tell me anything. Like it's confusing to me because it's so hard to sort through, but it just tells me how conflicted this person is feeling. This might even be about reaching out to you, how conflicted they feel. It's like they literally pick up the phone and then put it down. Like they come so close to making one decision and then go back the other way. So it is so weird. We've all been there, but trying to sort through it on my end is a little bit interesting. I'm like on a roller coaster. I do feel like there's this feeling of rejection that keeps coming up, and this could even be fear of being rejected going forward, or fear of reaching out and having it not go the way that they want it to. So it does feel like this feeling of gathering their strength and walking away. Um, but it's like, even though something that's going on, like I was saying before, something that's either going on inside of them or something that's going on outside of them. So that could be an external pressure, a family member, a relationship, something like that, an external pressure kind of pushing them to leave this situation in the past. It's like they can't fully commit to the idea of letting this connection go for good. Something keeps pulling them back. For some of you, there was a situation or a hold on this person, and this could have even been what caused the breakup or the separation for some of you, because that's being highlighted. So if this person was being held to another person or another situation, this could have been what caused this. This might be a third party situation for some of you. This person might have been or might currently be involved in another relationship, and it's like they're giving me this feeling of feeling really tied to that, feeling either tied to a relationship or tied to some other obligation in their life, family commitments, children. And this is even coming through as addictive behaviors, drinking a little too much, partying a little too much, or indulging in really any kind of behavior that's essentially just a cover up for a larger issue, like things that are going on beneath the surface. This is what they're starting to uncover, because I feel like a lot of this stuff, a lot that's been going on beneath the surface is coming to the surface for them. A lot of what has been hidden from them, this mystery card is giving me like moon energy. A lot of what they haven't in the past been able to realize is now becoming clear. I feel like even if they haven't made significant progress to like stopping this behavior or this activity or whatever it is, they're starting to see it. They're starting to see that it's kind of covering up deeper emotions. For some of you, like this just keeps coming through. This time of separation is giving them time to gain strength to break away from something or from someone. Honestly, this is someone that your person is trying to find the strength to break away from. Yeah. The interesting thing is, whatever is shifting inside of them, whatever strength they're finding, they don't really know what the result of this is going to be. Like, they don't know if they walk away from whatever situations are like causing this separation, or whatever situation is holding them back. And for some of you, this comes down to a mindset that they're worried about walking away from, a belief that was kind of the hindrance to this connection. But they're not really sure if they do walk away from this, if it's going to fix anything. Like, they don't know if their effort will be enough, or if time has really run out on this. So that's probably, that conflicted energy is starting to settle down. So I think that that's where that's coming from. It's like they're not really sure if they should make these changes or if they should even try, because it's a mystery to them how this will work out, if it will go the way that they want it to, if they still even have a chance. So it's like they're not sure, like, should I make the effort, or should I kind of deny my feelings, just cover it up. Like, honestly, should I just walk away and just cover it up, just bury it, or should I try? Yeah. Honestly, sometimes they just feel like they want to give up and wash their hands of this relationship because they aren't sure if things can change. Like, they aren't sure if they can change. They aren't sure if you can change. it might not even be about that. There might be some circumstance that they're not really sure if that circumstance can ever be different, or if it can ever allow this to come back together. With this unicorn card, their intuition is telling them that the changes might make a difference. Like, they feel it. They feel the truth of it. Like, if I take this action, if I try, that there is a chance. But the outcome is still unknown. It's a total mystery to them. And they still want to find the strength to change and to leave old patterns behind. But it's a mystery to them. I want to talk a little bit about these numbers here. And then we're going to look into some other areas. Sorry, I've been going on and on. So we have card 50, and that reduces to a 5. That's a clear indication of something changing. So the separation is causing them to change. And in large part, what that's about is it's about the inner strength. It's about that some sort of strength developing inside of them. This card is very similar to the strength card in the tarot. And the strength card, although it could talk about somebody being physically strong, it's usually more of an indication of finding courage and determination, kind of summoning the power within ourselves to endure the obstacles that we encounter along our journey. So with the strength card, this is an inside job. It's what I'm seeing here with this person is an internal change. Another thing that I'm noticing is with this walking away card, this 27, that reduces to a 9, and 9s are kind of indicative of approaching the end of a cycle, being at those final stages of transforming ourselves or transforming some area of our lives. So I feel like this person is gaining a lot more belief or confidence, especially confidence in their ability to tap into and to trust their intuition, trust what it's telling them about this connection, because this person is receiving intuitive messages about this connection. And that's kind of where that conflict is coming, and how they intuitively feel about it, what they really think this is versus what they think might be logical or what they think might be possible. Yeah, I feel like in the past they would have ignored their intuition completely. They would have, like, those emotional feelings, they would have kind of given them up in lieu of something more practical. Like, even the practical obstacles that stood in the way, it's like they would give more weight to, they would give more of their attention to their fears or to the challenges that they were facing, instead of kind of knowing that they, like, believing, intuitively believing. I'm trying to figure out what this is, but it's like intuitively believing that they feel the way that they do for a reason. Because I think that's hard for this person to, like, go off of their feelings. They want to give more weight to something else, and it's like, no, you have to put more focus on that. You have to realize that you feel this way for a particular reason, and you have to take action according to that. Yeah. So I'm kind of I'm kind of seeing them allowing their intuition to guide them a little bit more often now. This is what's changing for them. That's what they're working toward. There are a couple of messages coming through for this mystery card, like several messages. The first is that this is card 13, which for me is a reference to the death card in the tarot, and it's a reference to the energy of transformation. So again, I feel like something is changing, something's transforming behind the scenes. I kind of feel like this mystery card is clarifying all of the other energy that we have on the table. And it's also kind of providing a message of its own, because we do have that change and transformation being confirmed with this card being number 13. The idea of the mask, this mystery, this veil, it's also confirmation of some sort of intuitive sense being developed within them. So it's really clarifying this unicorn energy. Yeah. They might even be noticing signs and synchronicities more often. And that is that's playing into this intuitive sense that they're getting. I also feel like this person sometimes questions their decision about walking away. And it works both ways. They could be wondering if they made the right decision to walk away from you, or to not change this no contact situation. But this could also be kind of the element of now. Let me decipher this. Yeah, it's like just this feeling of not knowing now. Not knowing what things they want to let go of, what things they want to release, and feeling stuck. Yeah, this is interesting energy, but this is questioning a decision or questioning the thing that they felt stuck to. It's something like that. Yeah. I might come back to that energy. So yeah, this mystery card is actually providing a lot of clarity to the overall reading. And for some of you, it might also kind of be sending a message that you don't really know what's going on with this person in terms of this separation. You don't know if anything's changing. To me, this is coming through as living far away from this person. And they might be kind of private. They might not be the sort of person that posts every meal that they eat and every outfit that they wear and every place that they go on social media. So you might just have this feeling of like, I don't really know. Like, they're a complete mystery to me. For some of you, I'm hearing you don't even know where this person is at this time. Like, you don't know for sure where they live. Because there's a very mysterious energy here. There's something you feel you don't know, some clarity you feel you don't have. So I want to use the Fountain Tarot. And we're going to look at two areas of this connection. We are going to look at what has changed for this person during your separation and what has remained the same for or about this person throughout this separation. So for number 2, what has changed for or about this person since the separation? We have the Tower. Let's get some more energy on that. There's been a lot. I feel like there's a lot of changes going on with this person, and it could be in their physical world, not just about the changes that are happening inside of them. We have the Seven of Swords. Okay, wow. That did put a little bit of a different spin on it, but I will say, I think a lot has changed for this person, probably inside and out. And I wouldn't be surprised if those changes were kind of abrupt in their life, shocking, unexpected to them. And that can indicate stress. I do feel kind of stressed just looking at these cards. So, they might have a new stress in their life, or these changes might have produced some sort of new stress for them. I feel like in a lot of ways this person's reality has collapsed, and it's really coming through as a perspective shift, like seeing things more clearly, but it's like they had to break down, or they're in the process of this, kind of breaking down all of these beliefs. I wish I was explaining that a little bit better. The Tower card talks about our foundation, and a lot of times that's our foundational beliefs, the way we see the world, the way we have been conditioned to see the world, or how our experiences have conditioned us to see the world. And when we go to change our minds about something, if that belief is deeply seated, we got to tear all of that up. We can't just switch our minds instantly. We have to go to the base, to the foundation, to the root, and rip it out. So in that way, it's like, I do feel like their reality has collapsed, because everything that they built their reality on, they've started to see that's not really, that might not be true. That might not be right. That might have been a bad decision. Things like that are are occurring to them, and they are having to find the inner strength to deal with that, to deal with these changes, to change their mind. All the ways that your person maybe hasn't been willing to look at the truth, or ways that they were kind of deceiving themselves, I feel like something's changing in their life to strip all of those ways away. So things that helped them to not see more clearly, things that were a distraction to them, things that just kind of covered it up for them. This could be people, this could be habits, this could be their profession, their studies, their whatever it was, because I feel like for everybody it's different, but it's just like all that stuff that wasn't allowing them to see things for what they really are, it's being stripped away, and it could have happened so fast that it's like really throwing them. When the Tower removes things from our lives, it normally is really abrupt, and it is a shakeup. But there's something that they just can't lie to themselves about anymore. And I feel like it's like even a truth that they can't unsee now. And in some cases, it's like something wasn't working in their life and they just can't ignore it anymore. Also, I think for a lot of you, this person has realized that they were kind of deceiving themselves in believing that they would be able to just walk away from this. That was deception right there. They thought they could just walk away and be okay. And they're seeing like, no, not okay. And depending on how your relationship was, it's like, depending on how involved you were in each other's lives, this could have been that stuff really fell apart for them. Like, the end of this meant the end of a lot of things in their life. And this could even just be the end of them being able to like find that joy and that happiness that they were able to tap into. But it's like something did end. Something was cut off. Something was abrupt. Was this ending abrupt? Because yeah, that energy, it really could be what's going on for them or what has happened. But it could be this whole relationship. It just ended real fast. And it's like it's forced them to see things. It's forced them to not be able to unsee it. Wow. Let's look at what has remained the same. And it's like, at the same time, I'm questioning, like, has anything? Because for some reason, that Tower energy was like, it was sort of the energy of like, everything has changed. We have the Page of Coins. What has stayed the same? The High Priestess. It's interesting because I really love this High Priestess energy, because we were talking so much about intuition earlier. Intuition with this unicorn card, with the mystery card. I love this. I feel like this person had an initial feeling about you or about this connection. They were initially intuitively like drawn to you. Yeah. It's about this initial intuitive feeling they had about you. And I feel like this might be even something they're thinking about now, because now they're starting to tap into their intuition more. And part of that discovery for them is realizing that they were already having these intuitive hits before they ever like acknowledged their intuition to the degree that they do now. It's like, remember how you felt, like remember all of that. But also, and for some of you, it might be that they might have had an intuitive feeling about what role you were going to play for each other, or like who you were going to be, what this connection was going to be, what it was going to mean. What role in their life would you play, and they in yours? And that's kind of stayed the same. And I feel like any plans to kind of like build this, get get it off the ground. And this could be, for some of you, something the two of you had discussed. Like, it might be that before the separation, there were plans. There were plans to move in together. There were plans to travel to see one another. There were plans to somehow solidify this, make this better, stronger, maybe even plans to get married. But I didn't go initially to marriage because I just don't get such a high commitment level from this energy here. But this could also be that the commitment level wasn't matched on both sides. One of you might have been really serious and the other of you was like more immature with their approach to this. But it seems to me like they've held on to some idea or some plan that the two of you made, something you talked about, even if it was kind of casually, they remembered it. Like, it could be that the two of you were like, oh yeah, one day we'll move, you know, to this particular place and we'll live together. And it could have even been a joke or been really casual, but it's like they held on to this idea of making this solid, making it more real, elevating the level of commitment. And there's that conflicted energy again. It's like, as I feel through it, I'm like, yeah, and then they want to walk away. They think a lot about the walking away of this. So they think a lot about the ending, or they think a lot about how they have no choice but to move on. But they've got this little baby idea of what it could be. And it might be a baby idea because they just have not gotten any indication from you that like that's gonna happen or that you're open to that. And that's not on you. Like, for some of you, it's like, I feel like they might not have gotten any indication, but it's not because you wouldn't give it to them. It's just because, like, you don't know where they are, or you're not able to even talk to them right now. But it's just like, it's sort of a hesitant energy. It's like the want to grow, the want to believe, but then kind of like, well, I'm not really sure about that. Like, so it's remaining this little idea. It's not fully solidified. There's not action being taken on it yet. So I'm going to pull some more tarot. I just want to see if there's any more messages. Whoa. Just anything else. Whoa. Okay. Jeez. We have the King of Cups in reverse and the Five of Wands. Whoa. Okay. I'm going to pull some more energy on that. King of Cups, King of Swords. Okay. Okay. I'm so glad that clarified that, because that just makes more sense. This is, again, conflicted energy. I can't get over it. Let's clarify this Five of Wands. The Two of Cups. Okay. Temperance on the bottom of the deck. This is about balance. It's about patience. I can't ignore the Temperance and the Two Kings energy. It's too much. This is that balance to me. This is like, this is them trying to find this balance. They're feeling conflicted about who they want to be, how they want to feel, what they want to express, if they should. This is like emotions being kind of held back, showing up. The King of Cups showing up in reverse. Emotions being held back. The want to express something, to communicate with the King of Swords. The King of Swords would tell you. The King of Swords would tell it like it is. He wouldn't hold back. But the thing is that he's not very emotional. This person is very emotional, and it's difficult for them to communicate it. It's difficult for them to feel confident doing it. And this could even just be the position that they're in right now. After everything that's gone on, after all the time that's passed, they're not sure if they can communicate that emotion to you. So it's like, which one do you want to be? That's the question that they're asking themselves. That's the conflict here. Do I want to walk away? Do I want to stay? Do I want to be this emotionally outpouring person? Do I want to be firm and stern and just hold my ground and not say anything? Do I want to figure out how to identify this energy and talk about it? Like, what do I want to do? There's so much emotion there, though. So much emotion that isn't being expressed, and that in some cases they don't even know how to express it. I feel like for a lot of you, there was a major conflict, and it could have been even a conflict of interest. This could be a conflict on each side of the equation. Like, For some of you, this conflict wasn't even necessarily between the two of you. It was like your family or your friends or something was triggered outside of you that brought a lot of conflict to the relationship. But for others of you, this is a conflict directly about this relationship, and they're just feeling like they don't want to be in this Five of Wands energy. I wonder why I said that. I don't know if that was just a slip of the tongue or if that's like your guides wanting, yeah, there's the Lovers. The Lovers, Two of Cups. Okay, this could have been a Five of Swords reason for a conflict, because the Five of Swords can talk about, like, I don't want to take it all the way to like violence, but like, you know, it can talk more about fighting. So this could have been like gossiping or feeling like people were ganging up on you or them or something like that. But it's like this person wants to move away from this conflict and into the Two of Cups energy. They want to move to stable ground, and not just stable, but even ground. Like, that's just giving me the feeling of almost wanting to escape like a situation that there's a lot of conflict in, and wanting to just like start fresh somewhere and just be in a place where the two of you can like be equal. So again, this Temperance energy, being in a balanced place. There's so much with two here. Temperance with the balance gives me energy of two. We've got the Two Kings, we've got the Two of Cups. There's so much. It's like being in this partnership, they want to be in the partnership. They want to walk away from the conflict. They want to walk away from whatever the problem was, or whatever's holding the two of you apart, and just be in that, just be in that stable place with you. So interesting, especially with that Tower energy, because the Tower is a very unstable feeling. So it could be that this person is feeling very shaky, very unstable without you, and they just want to feel supported again. They want that support, that thing they depended on. Just to hear your voice is for some of you what that support is. Let's see if there are any messages that your person wants to share with you. Any messages for number two? Any messages for number two? These messages have been very slow. In reading one, oh wow, I'm distracted now, and I was let me just not look at that. In reading one, it was like a little bit hard to get the messages to come out, and I think that might be happening because these connections are in separation. So it's like just an indication of the delay or of the lack of communication. Here we go. My life is not as together as it seems. Yeah, this mystery, it's like there's a front. There's some kind of front. I want to be more than friends. I'm going to get some more messages. I feel like there might be some kind of front. Something you might think or have misunderstood about this person. I left when I saw you with someone. I was going to say with someone else, but the same thing. I left when I saw you with someone. So that feeling of them walking away, for some of you, they got insecure about something. They maybe even jumped to conclusions about something. And that was either the moment that they walked away, or it was when they started to take actions that would kind of push you away. That's a specific message for someone. I remember every detail of that day. Wow. I just feel like this energy of my life is not as together as it seems. It's the Tower energy. Things have, I really hate to say it, but things have fallen apart for this person in some area of their life. Unfortunately for some people, I think it's in multiple areas of their life, but it's like they just feel like like something's really missing, and this might not even be something that can be seen on the outside, but this is what they're feeling on the inside, and they can kind of wear this mask. They can kind of cover up the heart, the heartbreak, the heartache. They can kind of cover up that emotional part, but it's not what it seems. And there's something in particular this person's thinking about. Interesting, that energy came through in reading one, totally different. Like it was different energy, and it was at like the very beginning of the reading, but it's like there might be a particular conflict. This came out on top of the Five of Wands, so there might be a particular conflict that this person remembers. They might remember everything about when they first met you. Going back to that High Priestess energy, and we were talking about their intuitive feeling about you initially is something that is on their mind a lot, and something that hasn't changed. And it could be that they're just like, they're remembering this special moment the two of you shared together, or the time that the two of you met. And if there was kind of a friendship here, they want to move beyond that. I hope, because that makes me so sad, I hope that's not what happened with the walking away, because sometimes it can be like a situation where people feel like they have to walk away from their friendship because something went wrong in the relationship or something like that. But yeah, this person's looking for a commitment, something that's more serious than you may have known, because we're here with this Two of Cups energy, with this Lover's energy. It's like, even if they've been wearing a mask, they've been communicating something different. What they want is something balanced, stable, and committed. They don't really know if they can get to that place. They don't know whether they should believe it, but their intuition says that they should. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there for you, number 2. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and letting me read your cards. If you enjoyed this reading, if you resonated with any of these messages, don't forget to like the video, leave me a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button if you feel like it. And hopefully I will see you in another reading really soon. Bye. Hi, number 3. If you were drawn to the red jasper, this is going to be your reading. We're going to find out how this separation is affecting your person. How is it changing them? What's going on in their life during this time of separation? So let's get into it. Let's get your cards on the table and look at the general energy of this connection and what's going on generally for this person during this time of separation. So let's see. We have card 33, Door to Romance. And card 37, the third chakra, and this is Archangel Chamuel. Okay. That's weird. That's interesting. Let's get into this. Okay, no. Your guides are telling me to not flip these cards over. Your guides are trolling me, in other words, because they know how nosy I am. Like, of course, I want to see these cards before we even talk about it. And they're like, no. We will talk about this, because I guess there's something that needs to come to the surface before we see what these are. And yeah, for me, that is annoying. I want to know. So let's see. I am picking up on some kind of synchronicity here. So that might be what it is. It's a pause. It might be a test in my patience, to be honest with you guys. But I think there's some message about threes being significant to you in this connection, especially with the 33. I see 333 here, but I think there's a special attention being placed on the 33. I'm actually getting kind of an odd message about this number synchronicity. And it could be like it could be literal. It could be relating to the repeating threes. But for some of you, it's not that. It's some other sign that has stood out to you. Connected to either your own personal growth or specifically connected to this connection. But I'm kind of getting the message that during this separation, your person has started to notice and to tune into some of the same signs that you were picking up on, or that you are picking up on. I think it's different for everybody, but it might be something that you were experiencing before, like when you were still with this person, or right when you met them, and you might have even tried to tell them about it or something like that. But it's like, it's happening for them now. or they're starting to see it. They're starting to get it. This could have been something you connected on with this person. This is why your guides are having me hold off on this, because they know I'm going to get distracted. And there's some message with there's some message here with these threes. Yeah, this could have been something that you were connecting over, or it could have been something they didn't even see at the time. And I'm kind of getting the feeling that it's like they might literally be noticing something at the exact same time that you are. So it might not have to do specifically with numbers, but it's like a synchronicity thing. The same time you see that, it's the okay, I'm sorry. I'm getting all excited. I'm about to blurt stuff out because your guides just showed me the moon. So it's like, for some of you, it's the same time you look up at the moon, they're looking up at the moon. And there's this synchronicity of timing of like, we're both noticing the same thing, or we're both feeling very connected through looking at the moon or looking at a particular star or something like that. Your guides are hilarious and so distracting. I'm seeing too, you're also sometimes seeing the same time on the clock. That's either at the exact same time. I guess if you're in the same time zone as this person, it might be that you look at the clock at 3:33, for example, because for some of you that's what it is. They look at the clock at that same time. And it might not be that this is actually happening at the same time, but it could be that you're both noticing the same time on the clock over and over and over again. I don't know why, like I'm starting to see actually a huge part of how the separation is affecting them is they are seeing all of this stuff. That's why your guides were like, hold on. They're seeing all of this stuff. This is a major effect that's happening because they're like, oh my gosh, every time I look at the clock, it says, like it says 33 or it says 333 or it's 12:34, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's some kind of synchronicity here. They're seeing fives everywhere. They're seeing, and it feels like it might be picking up for them, or like they're making the connection between these signs that they're seeing and the connection. And if this was something that was happening for you before, that's why your guides are like, they need to hear this, because you could have even felt like you were going crazy at some time in this connection. Like everything was just speeding up for you so much, and you were noticing all these things and you're like, I'm losing my mind. And then this person didn't really get it. It's like they're starting to see it now. It's not just numbers. I feel like I've already said this is really not just numbers, because these hearts are looking like butterflies. They're looking a lot like butterflies to me right now. So that's just confirmation for me that it is any kind of sign, number, animal, names, seeing your name everywhere, and weirdest thing, clouds. If that resonates, please leave me a comment, because that is the strangest thing. That might be relevant to some of you, but they're seeing this stuff. Like they're seeing shapes in the clouds, or there's some connection the two of you have over clouds. It's again, the sky imagery. So there might just be something you connect over having to do with the sky. It could even be birds, but having to do with looking up at the sky, looking at the stars, looking at the moon, things like that. Yeah. So this door to romance card actually talks about new beginnings in love. This can be about bringing more love into the connection that's already been formed between the two of you. And the third chakra, it really deals with not only our life force energy, but that's kind of a big one, but also our emotions of desire. So what I'm seeing here is that this separation is causing a lot of desire within your person to move closer to you, to explore a deeper connection with you. For some of you, that has to do with dreaming about you, fantasizing about you. This could even get a little bit steamy. There is definitely a reference to the building of some kind of desire and the building of some sort of energy. So, yeah, they miss you. I feel like they miss you in a very physical way for those of you who were physically with this person. But even if you never were, it's like they're fantasizing about some of the more physical aspects and and like planning things. It could be planning dates, planning to be with you romantically. That's happening. That's building. That's growing. It's giving me the feeling of like the longer the separation is in place, the more they want you, the more they want to be with you, the more they're thinking about you and fantasizing about you. Yeah. There's actually sort of this feeling of excitement here, which is a little bit odd because there's almost like this anticipation or this expectant energy around this connection, even though the two of you are in separation right now. I'm finding that energy very strange, not what I expected. There's also kind of the sense of your person gaining or regaining confidence during this period of separation. So something that's going on in their life or that has gone on in their life might have bolstered their confidence a little bit. But I feel like that's tied to that excitement. They're feeling confident about something. They're feeling excited. They're feeling hopeful. This is weird. What is this? I don't want to miss it. For some of you, this is coming through as this person might have made changes to their physical appearance. And it's kind of fueling this excitement around being with you again or seeing you again. Because it's like maybe they've gotten in better shape or they're like a lot healthier now or something like that. And that could be what it is. If there's like a plan or an event where you could run into this person, I feel like there's some excitement on their part, like for you to see them because they're feeling more confident. They're feeling better about themselves in some way. Beyond the physical, this could have something to do with what they've learned or what they've achieved during this time of separation. It's like they're excited to share it with you. I don't know what is up with this person's energy, but it's almost not even like there is a separation. It's almost like there's no separation at all. It's like they feel all this anticipation. It's like they believe. I don't know what this energy is. It's like they believe. They have so much hope. They might feel themselves opening up emotionally, but it feels like in some way they're not even really thinking of this as a separation. Or they think that there's like the perfect moment for the two of you to come back together. They're excited about something. I gotta figure that out. It's much more uplifting and happy than I expected to come through for the energy of a connection and separation. So it is a little bit odd, but I am picking up on some optimism here about this connection. They're optimistic. You know how this is coming through? I feel like this person feels more prepared to share themselves with you than they did before. They're feeling more confident almost in their capacity to love and to be loved. And that's making them feel like more ready. Yeah. Okay. So your guides just gave me this analogy. So I hope this makes sense to you. It's almost like when you're going in to take a test or something, the feeling that you have when you have studied and you feel like you know the material inside and out versus the feeling you have when you don't know at all. Like one answer to any question that's going to be on that test and you already know it. It's sort of giving me that. It's like the way you walk in confidently, like I've totally got this, versus like, oh no, I don't want to take this test. I'm going to fail for sure. It feels like this person is feeling like there's going to be an opportunity for them to show their readiness, their eagerness, how prepared they are, like how much they studied for this. So this could be personal growth that's happening on their end. And they're like, I am in such a better position now to share myself. There's definitely an element of that. And like they might feel that they're able to open up in ways that they didn't before. This is what they're growing toward. Like, I want to throw that out there because it like, I don't know how long you've been in separation and it's going to vary for everyone. This separation is causing this. It's causing this causing them to move closer to a place of tapping into their emotions, a place of being ready to share themselves. But the exact place that they are in that is going to vary. But this is where their thoughts are going. This is where their energy is going. This is where their progress is going. This is the direction it's headed in. I feel like this person may have, this is so specific. This person may have looked into therapy, looked into talking to a counselor. They might have been reading like books on self-development, self-improvement, even books or material on relationships, like looking into certain things. This could be what's making them feel like they're so much more ready now. They could have even had more experiences in relationships that are making them feel more knowledgeable. For those of you that have been apart for like long enough that this person has been in another relationship, they could have been in several relationships during the time of the separation. It's like they think that they have more knowledge and more wisdom under their belt. Like they're more skilled in relationships. They understand things on a deeper level. Potentially they're more in touch with their emotions now. And I kind of feel like that's what this is about. We have this caged heart here on the Door to Romance card. So I feel like this person wasn't in touch with their emotions, or they were covering up a lot emotionally. And it's like they're starting to figure out how to tap into that more emotional side of themselves. One way or another, they're starting to figure this out, and they just feel more prepared. I'm reaching for the cards now. I'm reaching for the cards, and you guys, I have to know. So we have tent, temporary situation. Oh, and we have caution, card 22. So I'm seeing right away you had 33 and 22 master numbers coming out for you. These might be numbers you've actually seen, but master numbers are really an indication of growth, especially spiritual growth. It can be an indication of manifestation. Yeah, so these numbers might be significant to you. I just heard birthday on the 2nd and the 3rd. Maybe the two of you have birthdays that are really close to each other, or something like that. That's weird. Okay, so I kind of understand why your guides wanted me to swim around in that energy for a little while before we looked deeper, because this is really adding to it. And for one thing, it's confirming this idea that there is optimism and there's hope here, because with the tent card, this person thinks that the separation is temporary. This is not a permanent situation. So that kind of explains why all of that hopeful energy was coming through. And it's sort of like, why would somebody be so excited, when they think about this connection? But it's like they are excited because they believe that this no contact situation will come to an end. They're optimistic. And I also am getting this feeling of them being cautiously optimistic. And that is what I think is key here. Why your guides wanted me to feel that energy of like total optimism, and then feel this, because now it's starting to waver. So I feel like they want to be very confident. They want to be very sure. And sometimes their confidence in this situation, their confidence in themselves and their belief will wobble a little bit. There is excitement. There's anticipation about the future of this connection, about ending the separation. But at the same time, they don't really want to get their hopes up because they're kind of afraid of getting let down, getting hurt. I don't know if this person was always optimistic or what, but for some of you, I'm really getting the feeling that this is a shift for them. It's a shift that they're working on, like seeing things more positively, trying to look at the brighter side of things, trying to look on the more hopeful side. And that's probably contributing to the new confidence that they're finding, because it really could be a feeling of confidence in the future, confidence in the idea of issues being resolved and things being worked out. Confidence in the plan, because for some reason this is sort of coming through as like the two of you planned a future together, and there might be a period of waiting And it's like in the back of their mind, they know that whatever situation they're in right now, it's not permanent. That's so interesting. It's like something, it's just not permanent. Not just the separation, but some other situation that they're in, even if they're having to endure something that they don't like. For some of you, this is like the two of you are in separate places completely. There's the moon. There's the moon in the tent card, and it's kind of bringing me back to the signs and looking up at the sky or something. So yeah, it's like the two of you are looking up at the same time. Sorry, I got so distracted by that. I was kind of seeing like the image of somebody camping or something, coming out of their tent and looking up at the moon. And it's like the two of you are doing that at the same time. But if there's kind of a situation where it's like you guys are in this period of separation, almost waiting for something to run out or waiting for something to change. And it could have even been something that you agreed upon, or this fell apart because you couldn't agree about it. But it's like they feel like once I get past this, maybe they're studying in a particular place or they're living in a particular place, and they just have to like get things in order. They have to leave something behind. But whatever they're involved in right now, they're just not seeing it as permanent, and they're not seeing the separation as permanent either. And then at the same time, they're scared to think that it might be. Like they're being really positive, but those thoughts still sneak back in. Yeah. There is really this feeling of exploring the idea of like opening their heart and trusting. And then there's that fear kicking back in. Why do your guides want me kicking back in? Because this is, for a lot of you, this is a change for this person. To not be operating out of fear, to not be resistant, to not be negative. Like, I hate to say it, but to not be negative about this, to not be negative in general. It's a shift for them. And they're working on it, but like the fears still crop back up. Yeah. That fear kind of reminds them of their old patterns. It reminds them of returning to old patterns. It reminds them of how things went wrong in the past. I definitely sense a shift toward optimism and a shift toward like a plan to see you again or a plan to talk to you again, because this separation is temporary in their, like, that's how they view it, as temporary. I really do want to say, for some of you, if this person has explored other romantic connections since the two of you have been separated, I feel like there's this amount of cautious energy that they apply to these other situations. Like they approach these relationships or this relationship very cautiously. They're guarded in the relationship. They're not giving their all. Yeah, they're very careful about who they spend their time with. And it's almost this feeling of not wanting to get attached because it's like they view it as temporary. This sounds really bad. This sounds really bad, but it's almost like that person is a placeholder. They don't really expect it to last. Wow. It does. It's coming across like that. Like, even if they're in some other relationship, it's like they know it doesn't really compare to what they had with you. And they keep themselves ready to pick up and leave at any point. And I feel like it's such an opposite energy, because they're opening up romantically on one hand, and on the other hand, they're almost afraid to let themselves feel. They're almost afraid to let themselves feel, because it's like they are viewing these situations as temporary. They're viewing the end of this. They're being optimistic about it, and everything in their, I feel like saying everything in their life right now feels like a placeholder, but it might not be everything for all of you. That's kind of extreme, but that's how it was coming through. Like, it all feels temporary, because they might move away from that situation. Everything might change when they end this separation with you. And it's just kind of interesting energy. It's like they're waiting on something. What are they waiting on? What are they waiting for? I don't know. Yeah. I feel like, especially if this person moved in with someone else, I just have to say this. If they started a connection that on the outside looks like it's really serious, like they live together or something, so it looks very serious, it's sort of like their heart isn't really in it. And they are aware of this. And it just is coming across like they're saving their heart for you. Even if on the surface it looks like they're happy, it looks like they're building something solid. With this tint energy, it's like there's really no foundation there. It's really not solid. And based on the other energy that came out, I kind of think it's like that's because the love isn't there in the same way. The passion isn't there in the same way. There's kind of something that they have with you that they can't seem to find anywhere else. That's the energy. Okay, I hope you kind of stuck with that, stuck with me through that, because it was a little bit weird, but I feel like that's the energy. For some of you, it's a very specific situation, like they literally moved in with someone else and they still view it as temporary, even though they've made these very like solid commitments. They're like, no, it's not for real. Like I'll walk away from this. For others of you, it's not that specific of a message, but it's just the fact that they can't really find what they're looking for with anybody else or in any other situation. And in that way, everything has this transient, temporary kind of feeling to it, because it's like, that's not really it. It's like searching for happiness, searching for a place to land. And you can't really find anything that feels good. And this could be anything. This could literally be where they physically live, what job they do. It's like they're searching to put these pieces in place, and they can't really figure out how to do that. So interesting energy. I wanted to use the Naked Heart Tarot with you guys. So let's get more information on how the separation is affecting your person. I want to look at two specific areas. I want to look at what has changed for this person during the separation. This can be changed for them, changed in them. What has changed in their life during the separation? I also want to look at what has remained the same. What didn't change? Because I feel like saying this, for some of you, what didn't change is a deal breaker. And so, wow. Let's see. Okay, you had both your cards fly out on the floor. What has changed? We have the Sun. Wow, that optimistic energy. And the Ace of Swords. Oh. There it is, though. It's like that optimistic energy. It's something's being developed in this person, a more hopeful outlook. To me, sometimes this is even a plan that got like illuminated for them. So they might have stopped thinking so negatively or feeling so stuck in a particular situation that a plan has been kind of revealed to them. Certain things have been brought to light for them. They see things more clearly. They were in the dark before, and now it's like there's a spotlight on something. With this Ace of Swords energy, I think that what's changed for this person is more of a desire to communicate. It could be at one point they didn't want to talk. So if that happened if this person like ghosted you, yeah, I feel like this Ace of Swords, not only does it say a newness in communication, like they want to start up new communication or communicate something to you, but this is energy of something that's changed in their life. So it's like at some point they might not have wanted to talk. At some point they might have been running. At some point they might have ghosted you. They might have not been responding to any message that you sent them. And it's like that energy has changed. um, they weren't ready. They weren't ready to talk about it, or they weren't ready to talk at all. They might have known the conversation would go to the places that they weren't ready to deal with, so they didn't want to talk at all. I feel like there really is, like, there's a desire to end the no contact, end the silence, start talking again, start something new. And this is highly likely because of something that they have realized now, something that's been illuminated, and some kind of shift in their outlook with that Sun card. And in general, I feel like this person is happier, and it's not like, I feel like they're a happier person. Like they're working on changing things to make them a happier person in general, to make them a more joyful person in general. So that could have been something in their life that was like weighing them down. It was depressing them. It was difficult for them to deal with. This could even be trauma in their past that they really hadn't healed from. And the Sun card is showing like a shift there, and that's probably why they've shifted, because I just feel like they just shifted toward more positivity. Even if they're not really all that positive, they are more positive than they were before. They see things differently than they did before. They're way more optimistic. I feel like this even has to do with them being ready to share that new optimistic and more hopeful view with you, like, or to communicate and express their emotions more, to give you a little bit of hope. They have this this desire to like communicate that joy and that hope to you. What has stayed the same? What didn't change for number 3's person during the separation? What didn't change? We have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. I'm going to open that energy up a little bit more. I don't know why, but I felt called to say that could be the deal breaker for some of you. And I didn't, in reading 1 and 2, I didn't think about it like that. I didn't have that thought that this could be a deal breaker. So this could have been like the reason that the separation happened was like, if this isn't going to change, I can't do this anymore. And for some of you, depending on like what's going on here, you might already have a clear idea in your mind of like, if I don't hear this, if this didn't change, if it's not this situation now, then like it's not going to work. And we have the Wheel of Fortune. I feel like in large part we already knew what didn't change. I feel like that's what's happening here, because we were already talking about this person's fears coming up. I'm gonna look at the bottom of the deck. The Two of Wands. The decision. I'm gonna sit with that, because seriously, some kind of choice that this person needed to make for some of you might be relevant in this, and that's just coming through as something that is significant in your connection, that there's literally something that might not have changed, some kind of choice that they need to make, a decision they need to make, and if it didn't change, the separation, like you're not really willing to end the separation. I think that what hasn't changed, or what hasn't changed completely, is this person's attitude, like that more pessimistic view, which is really stemming from fear. So I'm going to call it what it is. Their fear hasn't changed. It hasn't gone away completely. They're still hesitant. They're still worried. They're still concerned that a solid offer might result in a failure. Like if they really put in the effort here and they try to give you this Ace of Pentacles energy, which would be like a new beginning energy, a solid beginning, something real. Like I feel like something you can actually sink your teeth into, not just words, not just a promise, actual action. They're kind of like worried that if they try for real, it could blow up in their face. A lot of times that's fear of rejection. And it's like that fear just that still pops up. this is about a fear of losing you, which I guess I was essentially saying, but it wasn't hitting, right? Because if we think about like the traditional Ace of Pentacles, there's a hand holding a large coin on like in a traditional deck, and if this card had come up in reverse, it would be like the coin was slipping out of their hand, slipping out of their grasp. And that's really about loss. That's about a fear of losing something. And I feel like this person might have been afraid to lose you even before they actually did. And then they did, which really could have just been a manifestation on their part because they were always going around with this fear. But then they did, and now they're still plagued by that fear. They're kind of afraid to get their hopes up, like I was saying, cautiously optimistic. And this could even be about making a choice between two things. And they're like a little bit afraid to make that choice because they know that there's a potential for loss. They might lose. They might fail. They might mess up. It's like they have the same fears. They have the same fears they always did. They're moving toward a more optimistic view, but they have the same fears they always did. And I think for them, what's really important to note is they would only care if they lost something, if it was meaningful to them. Like, I just feel like this is the type of person that like wouldn't hesitate to do something out of fear. Like, they don't consciously know that they do that. Let me put it like that. They're not really aware of the fact that fear has held them back in this connection. That really just that scary idea of this is very meaningful to me and I could lose it will make them sometimes not try. It will make them sometimes not make a solid offer. They worry that things don't work out for them. And even though they've reached this turning point, they still have a fear that things can fall apart, that they can lose. Sorry about that. There's like a leaf blower going outside. I hope that's not too distracting. But yeah, with the Wheel of Fortune energy, I'm picking up on this feeling of almost feeling like the world is against them in some ways. And that's where a lot of this fear stems from. Like things outside of their control happen. And they're kind of afraid that the scales will tip in a way that will be very disappointing to them, very scary for them. So whatever fear was holding them back, it's still in there, which is understandable. It wouldn't just go away. I'm going to leave that Two of Wands out. I do feel like saying they're definitely working on that. They're working on the fear that was holding them back. But it's just, they're just afraid of losing. And sometimes it's almost like they guarantee it. It's almost frustrating to feel, even though, I mean, I've done it before. We all do that. But it's like when you're really afraid you're going to lose something, and it gives that energy of like, you're just going to guarantee the loss. You're just going to act in a way that will guarantee that thing will slip from your life. So they're working on conquering that fear. They're working on opening that door. This door to romance is about unlocking the heart. Let's see what other messages want to come through. We have the Four of Swords. I've left this part of the reading like very open, and we'll just see what other messages want to come through. The Hermit. Wow, there's so much soul searching going on their part. That's why they're opening up more emotionally and making these changes. There's that Ace of Swords again. Something fell. Two somethings fell. Okay. We have the Two of Wands again. And the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah. So much clarity and confirmation. Not a lot of new messages, but definite confirmation of what we'd already seen. The Devil at the bottom of the deck. So the Devil can talk about anything that we're attached to. So this can be things that are in their life. Again, the idea of not becoming attached with this temporary energy, this temporary situation energy with the tent. It's like they don't want to become attached to something, to some situation in their life. They're careful about what they become attached to because they're leaving room for the possibility of this. yeah, they're leaving room for the possibility of this. There's definite, there's physical attraction here that I feel like is a major part playing into this, because we were even talking about that, the fantasies that they're having, kind of the romantic plans that they have, those nighttime thoughts that they're having about you and about this connection. That's showing up here again with the devil energy. So there's definite physical attraction, and this person is really thinking a lot about what they're attached to, what they will tie themselves to, and trying to make a decision about something. Two of Wands showing up twice. Ace of Swords showing up twice. They want to talk. They want to talk. The fact that you had the Four of Swords and the Hermit come out, for some of you, this is past energy. This is past reflective energy. This is them taking the time to grow and evolve and taking a time out. This is really referencing the separation, but especially with the Hermit energy, Virgo energy there, Capricorn energy here. Sorry, I'm just noticing the signs. Leo. Taurus, Leo again, Scorpio, Aquarius with the Wheel card. Sorry, there's so many messages coming through, but it's like, especially this Hermit energy, this is energy of really discovering something, discovering what you want your next step to be, figuring that part out. And this could be energy that they're still in this period of taking a break, taking a step back and reflecting, stepping away from situations that they feel tied to, so that they can get a feeling and a sense of where they are, what they really want. Because I feel this conflicted energy. I feel this energy of making a decision with the Two of Wands showing up twice, planning something and trying to decide. And this Knight of Pentacles is, again, about this solid offer. And if I read just this section, which I am being called to do, I feel like there's this time of reflection, this Hermit energy time, this time where they need to pull away and be introspective in order to develop this plan with the Two of Wands, in order to move forward with a solid offer. The thing about this is, seeing this process behind the Knight of Pentacles is very significant, because the Knight of Pentacles does not move impulsively. When the Knight of Pentacles makes a move, it's slow, it's steady, it's well thought out, and this shows me the energy of something being well thought out. So it's like, I see time here. I see time passing, which could be an indication that the separation's been going on for a little while, or a little while than you would have liked. But it can also kind of be a reminder that this progress that they want to make, this movement towards you, it's not the fastest movement. I feel like communication will come faster, and that you might hear from this person through messages or a phone call before you see them in person. Because there's a lot they want to share with you, but it's like they want to be very careful about the offer that they make. They want it to be real. They want it to be solid. If this is about a choice they needed to make, they want to make that choice before before they communicate with you. Because they want to be firm and solid on what their decision is, what their plan is. Let's see what messages we can get from your person. What messages do you have from number 3's person? I don't react when people mention you. That's a real cover-up of feelings. I think that has to do with this fear, and it's like they just don't want to admit how hurt they might be or how scared they might be. I also feel like this person might be in a situation where it's not appropriate to talk about you or to react to you. There might be somebody, for some of you, if this person's in another relationship, it's like when your name comes up, they have to act like they're not effective, but they are. Or there's somebody, this might not be about a relationship, this could be about family or friends. They ask this person, how are you doing? How are you feeling about this? They act like they're okay a lot of the time. there was a message coming through with that, and I sort of want to explore that a little bit, because I think in a lot of ways, they're realizing that they're still keeping a lot of this fear hidden. They're not sharing it with anyone. They're not talking to anyone. They're not getting help about it, but they're in this introspective place. And it's like, even when people want to reach out or want to know how they're doing emotionally, they're still kind of keeping that to themselves. Or that's something they just want to share with you. I bury myself in work to forget you. There is some element of covering this up. Yeah, there is some element of cover up here. And I think they know it now, and they're starting to try to get to the bottom of this with that Hermit energy, that Four of Swords energy. They're curious about why they're doing that themselves. They want to, like, almost like they want to uncover these things. It's a process for them. I love you unconditionally. I'm going to get one more. What messages do you have for number 4? This energy with the like distracting themselves with work, that can play back into that temporary situation. I think sometimes they tell themselves, I'm just going to distract myself right now because this will come to an end. They also might even view their work or some commitment that they have as sort of temporary. Like, I'm just doing this for the time being. And once we're together, things are going to change in this way. It's interesting energy. Do you have another message for number 4? You might not get another message. This deck has been very selective today. And that's probably for the best, because I think that the messages, I feel like the messages are on point or are going to mean something. So it might be kind of best to keep it simple. I feel you even though we're apart. That connection is still there. It's clearly there. I think this is on their mind a lot. Especially, I feel like that card, that might be literal, because I think that this person does fantasize about you a lot. And it's like, they actually physically feel like they're with you. And that might be reciprocated. Like, there might be times when you actually imagine that this person is there with you or holding you or something like that. It's like they're having that same experience on the other end. And it feels so real to them still. It's still very real. That's why their current situation is temporary, because it still feels so real to them. It's like they can still feel you. They're still connected to you. Devil energy. They're still attached. The Magician. 6 of Cups, such sweet energy, such nostalgic energy. They're looking back over the time that the two of you had together, over the conversations you had, with a lot of fondness. They have good memories, and they just want to, like, step into this place of being able to be in control, being able to call the shots. I feel like in a lot of ways, this energy here is very opposing, and this might be what's going on with them. They're realizing where they need to take more control in their life, where something is binding them, attaching them, you know, where they might have felt stuck. And there's this feeling of wanting to break out of that, wanting to step into the Magician energy, wanting to move forward. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there for you, number 3. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and letting me read your cards. If you did like this reading, if you resonated with any of these messages, don't forget to like the video, leave me a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button if you feel like it. And hopefully I will see you again in another reading really soon. Bye.